In today's session, we will discuss about the different types of Fiori apps and the security configuration of it. There are basically four different kinds of Fiori apps. Okay, one is your normal Fiori apps, one is your legacy app, and the other one is a CDS. The CDS view discussed over here is actually developed in HANA database, and this can also be viewed in your Fiori Launchpad. Now, we'll understand the difference between the Fiori app and GUI app. Okay, a Fiori app is one in which a UEFI application is developed for it, and whereas a GUI app is your normal SAP GUI transaction. In the Fiori end user launchpad, the user can directly view the transaction or WebInfo component and execute his day-to-day activities. Okay, and as discussed earlier, the Fiori app also has three different types of apps in it. One is your transactional Fiori app, analytical Fiori app, and object-based pages. Likewise, for legacy also, you have your normal SAP GUI transactions and WebDin Pro components as well. Now we'll understand about what is a fact sheet as well. Now, as we understood that for every Fiori app, there is a UEFI application developed. Now, what is this transactional UEFI app? This transactional UEFI app is one in which you can execute your day-to-day operations like your SAP GUI transaction, except the big difference is it has a UEFI application. Now, what is an analytical app? Analytical app will mostly work on the views developed in HANA database, and even you can perform advanced analytical capabilities on the CDS view present in the HANA database. It is basically used for business analysis. Now, what is this fact sheet or Fiori search we are talking about? This fact sheet or Fiori search is also a UEFI application which is used to display the master data present in your landscape, like cost centers, profit centers, etc. So having understood the difference between the Fiori app and GUI app, now the basic question arises. There are approximately 88,000 transactions in your S4. Does every transaction have a Fiori app? The answer is no. There are only 1,000 Fiori apps. Now, do the Fiori apps cover the entire functionality of this 88,000 transaction? Again, the answer is no. That is the reason we have the concept of GUI apps, which represents the data directly from the S4 system. Now, another big difference between your Fiori app and GUI app is this Fiori app can be displayed in your desktop, laptops, mobile devices, but this GUI app can only be displayed in your desktops and laptops only. Now, this is a typical end user launchpad. So an end user launchpad will have groups, and each group will have a set of apps in it. We will understand the different types of apps which we discussed. So far, we have discussed about Fiori transactional analytical, Fiori fact sheet, web GUI apps. We will see how to differentiate it and where to gather information as well. Now, in this particular business group, as discussed, there are 5 apps. Now, let's understand what is Fiori transaction. Let's now click on an app, check cash flow items. When you click on this, when an end user click on this particular app, he will have the corresponding screen associated with it, in which he can perform the assigned actions to him. Now, from an admin perspective or a security perspective, you need to understand the technical information of it so as to configure it as well. Now, how do you identify it? Once after clicking this app, click on this button which directs you to the information of the app. So over here, when you click on this, you will get the technical information of the app. Over here, please make a note of the application ID. This application ID is very, very important. Now, based upon this application ID, in Fiori apps library, you can search the technical information of the app. The application ID is F0735. So in Fiori apps library, search with the app ID F0735. Here you will get the exact Fiori application, and we can make a note of it as well. The application type is transactional SAP Fiori UI5. So this is how you identify the type of Fiori application. If you want to implement it, then you need to go to the implementation information, select the exact version of your HANA database and S4 HANA, select the exact version of your S4 HANA, and then over here you need to, under configuration section, you need to make a note of the UI5 application OData service being used and implement it. So this is about SAP UI5 or Fiori transactional application. Okay. So to sum up, an SAP Fiori UI5 or Fiori transactional application is one in which you can perform your day-to-day transactions just like your SAP GUI transaction. Only the difference is you have a dedicated UI5 application developed. So to host it, you need to go to the Fiori apps library, gather the necessary technical information and implement it. Now we'll understand about Fiori analytical application. The Fiori analytical application mostly works on CDS views developed in HANA database, and you can perform advanced business analysis on it. Now this is your end user launchpad. Now we'll click on another app, analyze collection success. And when you click, the corresponding screen displays. Now our intention is only to find the app ID. So you click on this button where it redirects you to the information screen. Upon clicking it, you will get the app ID. So the app ID for this application is F009. So what do? You go here to the Fiori apps library and search it. F009. Just refresh it once. F0009. Analyze collection success. Click on this app. You will get the type of application used. Okay. If you want to implement it, go to the implementation information Under the implementation information, go to the configuration tab. Here you will get the necessary data to implement this app. Likewise, we have discussed about fact sheet. The fact sheet is not your normal app. It would be available in your search bar over here. So as I said earlier, the fact sheet displays the master data available in the system. If you want to search a particular master data available in the system, likewise, if you want to search for a particular cost center or a profit center, you can directly select this and search for it. So this fact sheet is also a UEFI application developed, which we security consultants should launch and configure roles accordingly. Okay. Now we have SAP GUI apps. So we have a GUI app as highlighted, and if I click on this app, it redirects me to the backend transaction directly. Unlike check cash flow statements, analyze collection success, there is no dedicated UEFI application for it. It directly represents the backend GUI transaction. Hope you understood the difference between the Fiori app and the GUI app. Now, even for this also, you have the technical information and you can search the technical information of this app in the Fiori apps library. Let's go and search VA01. So when you search the technical information of this app, first of all, one very important thing that you need to make a note of it is you should identify with the application ID. When you search with the keywords, you'll get these many entries. So the actual application ID is this. You select on this and you get all the necessary technical information specific to this app as usual. So under implementation, you can configure it. So see the app ID and also the application type. This is a SAP GUI or Web GUI application. Under implementation information, under configuration, you do have all the necessary technical information to launch this app as well. Now, not only you can directly represent your normal SAP GUI transaction, you can even host a custom transactions in your S4 HANA system. Like this is a custom transaction developed. If you see the technical information of this app as well, if you see the technical information of this app, upon clicking this, you will identify that this is custom transaction developed. So it is not only the normal GUI transactions, even custom transaction developed in your S4 system can be hosted on the end user Fiori Launchpad. Okay. So with this, we understood the different types of Fiori applications, and we'll understand now about the CDS. CDS views are basically developed in your HANA database, and that can also be viewed in your Fiori Launchpad. You have an app called Query Browser. In this query browser, the user can access to all the CDS views for which he is entitled. So in the Fiori Launchpad, you can even search for master data. You can access HANA database views. You have access to normal SAP GUI transactions, custom SAP GUI transactions, and also to Fiori applications. So your Fiori Launchpad is a single point for your analytical capabilities as well. You need not have a separate reporting tool like your Bex analyzer to showcase your CDS views. And if you want to process advanced capabilities, you can develop analytical applications on these views only, as discussed earlier. Now, we will understand the background processing on how a Fiori app actually works. Now we have a Fiori end user to which the end user logs and performs his day-to-day operations. We do have a Fiori server which can be hosted on any database. Likewise, we have a S4 HANA server as well, which will be hosted on HANA DB only. Okay. Now, this is the end user launchpad. Per se, let's assume the user clicks on the app under group JetTest BG1, check cash flow items. In the Fiori server, it directs to the actual group, and the group directs to the catalog, which has the target mapping to the UI5 application. So when a user clicks on a app in the group, it directs to the catalog, which has the target mapping to the UI5 application. So that is how the UI5 application is displayed. Now, you need to have data to be presented. The data actually resides here. How come the data which resides over here is represented a UI5 application in Fiori server? You have a registered OData service which provides the data to your UI5 application. So your role in the front-end server should have access to the group, to the catalog first, and the group as well, and also to the registered OData service. Okay. Now, you might ask me, where is this OData service actually present? The OData service is actually present in the backend S4 system, but it is registered and activated in the front-end system so as to provide the data of HANA DB to the UI5 application. Likewise, your backend S4 HANA server should also have a role which has access to the catalog developed in your front-end Fiori server with an RFC. Hope this clears most of your understanding about the whole architecture of S4 HANA with Fiori. And likewise, you have your registered OData service in your front-end role. You will also have the actual OData service in your backend role. One very important thing that you need to remember is, soon as you insert the catalog in your roles, the services are by default fetch. You need not manually add it. This slide describes of what we have discussed so far. Now, where are these groups and catalogs developed? To develop your groups and catalogs, you will have an admin launchpad just like your end user launchpad, but for this admin launchpad only security administrators basis and ABAP will have access to it, where they develop catalogs and groups to host the applications. Now, I'm reiterating this point again. Even to host your Fiori apps and WebGUI apps, you need to develop your catalogs and groups. Now we have two common questions here. If we migrate or upgrade our version from ECC to S4, can we migrate the existing roles? The answer is no. Why? Because in Fiori, you have the concept of catalog and group. So we can't migrate the existing roles. Yes, if you are using only S4 HANA server. If you are using only S4 HANA server, you can migrate the existing roles to S4 with SU25 upgrade activities. Okay, so what are the trace options? The trace options are common if you only use S4, but if you use your S4 with Fiori, The trace options also differs. Hope you have understood about the different type of apps and how you can view the technical information of it and the basic understanding of the architecture of S/4HANA. Now we will end that presentation by discussing about different scenarios. The first scenario is called Central Hub Deployment Development in Backend Service. As I discussed earlier, you have your UEFI application in the Fiori server. The OData service is developed in the backend but registered in the front-end system. Data to the UEFI application is supplied by the registered OData service in the front end. This is Central Hub Deployment Development in Backend scenario. 80% of your actual landscape will work on this on-premise scenario. Now, in this scenario, Central Hub Deployment Development and SAP Gateway Server, the service is registered here, the service is registered here, the service is also developed here. Only the actual business data resides in the backend system. Okay, so I didn't find any scenario implementing this, but we have an embedded scenario where you have the Fiori and S4 in a single system. The business data, the service implementation, the service registration is done in this particular scenario. If at all, if you require any further guidance and assistance, I can teach all the hosting of apps and role design structure in embedded scenario if required. Thanks for your time. Have a nice day.